This is Rauta, this is Steelchaos 2022 and second day of black metal, heavy metal, and all kind of metal. This time we have actually a band that could be described in various ways. Most people will definitely consider Flame to be black metal band, but is it purely black metal? We'll talk about that and we'll discuss other matters, but first let's introduce to the man of the hour. Who were you again?
I'm Blackvenom and I've been in the Flame since '98, and you know, like I'm kind of regular guy, but you know, like in in many of reasons I've been in the heavy metal music in the various reasons.
So yeah, you've been in the scene for like half an eternity, yes. And when did you actually start your first band?
My first band was actually, you know, like it had to be done in when was something like let's say 10 or 11. I was playing school band. I forget the name, but you know, we play Metallica covers.
Yep.
Surprise, yep. Surprise.
But you kind of have to start it with those kind of roots.
Yes. So yeah. So
how did you move from that Metallica cover band to do black metal and other styles?
This is the big question, and yes, like I said, you know, like Metallica was my first inspiration, but we actually talk about this in this in Sova from Baratrum, and from year 94 I saw Baratrum live, and in youth house in Kuopio, and I think that was, you know, like the fucking breaking point of everything, in my opinion.
And since that you have been having this career of dark metal.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, this is, you know, all aspects, you know, like the all points, you know, like the breaking points came all together, you know, so to speak.
Now, well, how would you describe Flame? It's not exactly the kind of a typical modern black metal, but kind of an older style. Would you even consider it calling like first wave of black metal, or is it more like black heavy metal, or how would you define it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I define Flame as, you know, like we are the hybrid band. I actually describe Flame as Flame. And, you know, of course, you know, like, I respect bands you doing their, you know, like the things. Actually, we, you know, like try to, you know, evolving our music in the, you know, like natural way, to putting, you know, like you know, the music flow with the, you know, like the natural way to, you know, like a wind of metal in a way, in you know, like it's natural, you know, like it's progression, but in a natural way.
What kind of bands inspire you the most?
The most? Oh yeah, actually the most inspiration for us is like Sarcophago from Brazil, Master's Hammer from Czechia, and then it's come from Beherit and all those most like Beherit and obscure bands, Mephisto, stuff like that, you know, stuff like that.
Flame is in a way very, very Finnish sounding band. It doesn't really remind of Swedish or Norwegian black metal style, which are, I guess, the most known bands. How important it is for you to stand out from the big mass of kind of a faceless black metal bands?
I think it's my point of view. I usually try to think that, you know, the way that, you know, like individual way. It's not about doing our own thing. That's the most important thing.
What about the lyrics of Flame? What are they all about? Or what kind of stories you need to deal with Flame lyrics?
Okay, yes. When we first started, you know, like I was in the, you know, like more in the, you know, the Anton LaVey and Nietzsche kind of, you know, nihilistic, satanic themes. But, you know, it's in the last few years I'm evolving more into, you know, like deep left-hand path, occultism, Aleister Crowley, Kenneth Grant, kind of Typhonian magic, occult kind of stuff. But it's still, I feel, this all is connected in the one part. It's weird. Weird to, describe in the, in the mundane plane. But in my mind eyes, I still feel, this all is connected at some level. Does that make sense?
Do you have other active bands by Flame that you also need to have in order to just separate yourself from black metal?
I had before. I have to mention Adorio. I was a member of Adorio, the members band, that it was, great fucking band and fucking challenge to me to play. We all were, in that band, all in different countries and stuff like that. It was a real challenge to me to play in there and, fast music and everything. And I tried some different things, but I think the Flame is the bastard child for me. I can't go without it.
So it's like the one thing.
One thing. One bastard child you have to hugging all your life.
So you're like actually bleeding for it.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Now, since you've been such a long timer, how do you think black metal scene has evolved since the birth in the 80s?
Oh, okay. I think black metal has evolved in so many directions. It's hard to explain. You just have to. I think I have to put the pure. Family guy, and I just listen to those bands, so many directions. It's impossible to do. That's
now. Some people seem to have this mentality at that 90s or even 80s, where the golden era and everything. Since that is just copycatting or not exactly taking the music to new layers or. And all that stuff, while some people are definitely saying like, okay, nowadays metal is the peak moment because there is so many different styles and old bands were kind of a childish with their lyrics and all that stuff. Which is your way, old school or the new school?
Like I said, I think, in my belief system, I feel this, linear time is kind of trap. It's, everything is somehow connected. I feel, it's, because I like, I like so many stuff, besides metal and everything. And, I look my life, I have, because I'm a family man and, I'm a band and stuff like that. But I want to look my life as a, the one big cycle. So it's like, sometimes the cycle is going, full, and then it's broken up, and then the new cycle begins. So maybe that's a question,
Now, a lot of us older metalheads who already had bands early 90s or even 80s. Of course, it was very different when we were teenagers in our 20s, we're drinking beer, and the girls were not that important. Suddenly, women come seeping in, people got married, people have kids. Everything changes. We're way past 40s. Some people are way past 50s. The metal still keeps going, but obviously family life is changing the game, changing the narrative. How do you keep things in check? How do you keep things in balance between family life and metal lifestyle?
That's a good question. I'm thinking that all my life because suddenly, my family life starts, quite suddenly. I love my family, I love my child, and of course it's stuff like that. But of course it's a game changer. But I think the aspect of Satan itself is about the challenging and being the putting yourself in the perception you've been evolving and doing in a better person in the real. So it is becoming in this breaking boundaries about everything.
How does your family support your band career or metal lifestyle?
100%.
So are they also listening to daddy's music?
Yes, basically. I have to greetings my mom. She's been, like my security and stuff like that, and she's been into, like 70s rock and stuff like that. When this all started, like total support.
That's a really, really great thing to hear.
Yes.
How do you take this to the next generation? Being this metal dad, playing in a band and all that stuff, having still long hair and not giving, back. How do you keep it like? What are your teachings?
I think when you choose this path, it's no surrender anymore. Just follow the path till the end, then the final strike. And my eyes, that is just a, like transformation. So maybe next life. Let's see.
Exactly. Now, have you ever been pondering that, okay, besides metal, I should do totally different kind of music?
Yes, many times.
Have you done it, or why haven't you done it?
No. I'm thinking that many times. Actually, like before, just like doing my own rehearsals. I listen to stuff like Depeche Mode and stuff like that.
Depeche Mode is great.
Yes, Depeche Mode is yeah. It's actually. Yeah, that kind of stuff, like, I think, like, I don't know, it's just things that keep you feeling about you.
Now, when you grab your instrument, what kind of stuff you need to have in order to make a good riff or even good song? What are the key elements, so to say?
My mind and guitar and maybe my delay.
So it all comes down to gadgets and how your brain works.
Yeah. It's kind of. I usually, if I write a riff, I usually, starting to doing the rhythms at the same time, and the rhythms keeps me going. So maybe the rhythm is most important element for me when I'm writing stuff.
Some people say lyrics are mandatory evil in music, like they don't even like to write lyrics because it always seems to be this kind of a tiresome task, like fuck, we have these great riffs, we have these great drum beats, and we have great guitar leads or solos, and then somebody's like, yeah, but we need to have lyrics to just, get something to sing and all that stuff. Do you find lyrics like nice thing to do or just this mandatory evil to do?
It's equal. It's equal. It's first thing, of course you have to write the music first if you're doing, like a band, or then comes lyrics, and then lyrics are, like, it's like, for me it's like a great poem. And of course, I have a tiny bit, like messages before, like my lyrics, but I still consider they're like, they should be have like, everything should be, if they take those and take those words, they can do that our own thing. So I'm not basically preaching anything, but liberation and freedom, the aspect of Lucifer and Satan. That's the only thing I basically preaching.
Have you ever taken a look at your earlier lyrics and feeling like, okay, I cannot really support these thoughts, but I'm gonna still sing them because, well, they are already there.
There's a few songs or demos that basically a little bit, kind of childish way. But I looked at, like when you're starting a band, of course, mistakes, you learn something, and hey, this is. You have to take the funniness moment sometimes, like those Harry Potter and those kind of moments. You have to deal with your ego, pure ego. So self-irony is important.
Exactly. I remember, and we had a little bit of a discussion with my friends when we were driving to Hyvinkää and getting ready for Steelchaos yesterday, like talking like. About the differences in black metal and death metal, for example, in the early 90s, so how death metal was kind of allowed to be more goofy and more humorous, not to mention thrash metal and heavy metal, while black metal decided that everything needs to be super serious, which I guess I understand in a way, but nowadays it seems like these rules have changed and lots of bands just don't really take things that seriously. Do you think it's a good or bad thing?
I think, like I say, everything is connected. So it's like, I think, consider it as a good thing. Because I think, in some level, you know, like, I don't know, that's a good thing. It's good thing. It's a very good thing. Because, you know, for example, this festival, there's a heavy metal band, blah, blah, every kind of genres. I'm a fan of all those genres. And, you know, like, what the hell? That's, you know, like, I think that's, you know, the diamond to put the metal together. You know, like, of course, the shitty things, you know, like, new metal stuff, I don't like.
Get luckily die.
Yes, yes. But, you know, like, all those diamonds really, you know, survived all this time. So it's like, it's a very good thing.
Now, one thing which I have noticed, I don't know if this is factually true, but it feels like this is like back in the like 80s and 90s, people were more like open to different kind of genres. You could be listening to, say, like you said, thrash metal, heavy metal, fucking power metal, black metal, all kind of stuff, and it didn't really matter. And nowadays people are more like purist, you know, like I only listen to black metal. I cannot listen to this and that because this is not, you know, my kind of stuff. And a lot of older people are like, yeah, but dude, when I like make black metal song, I'm inspired by bands like Metallica or Iron Maiden or fucking Judas Priest or Motorhead. So it doesn't really matter. But it seems like nowadays younger black metal bands seem to be, okay, we play black metal and we listen to black metal only. And it sounds like it's almost like, you know, kind of incestuous, you know?
Yeah, yes.
Like recycling parts that are already there.
Kind of like I said, everything's kind of connected in a way. Even those bands who try to escape from the factors of, you know, like kind of, you know, like because, you know, there's all those bandmates. Like I noticed, you know, they listen, you know, like so many bands, you know, like. Other for metal, like, you know, like the Depeche Mode.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Kraftwerk and stuff like that. So it's like, I think, you know, like maybe when we, you know, like older, we are quite wiser.
Yeah, we kind of give more freedom.
Yes,
like, it's not
you
guilty
know,
pleasure anymore. It's just like,
yes. We don't have to, you know, like have that night, you know, you do this wrong and shit like that. You know, like. I think, you know, like this big cycle comes together and it's coming more, you know, like stronger, you know, like in a way, I mean, all the musical sense and spiritual sense, you know, like there's so many friends and fucking, go in a deeper level now. Okay.
Exactly.
Next question.
Okay. Apart from metal, what defines your life?
Apart from metal, what is it?
I mean, when you're not doing metal or listening to metal, or do you have time anything else but metal?
Of course, I have my normal life, and I'm basically family man who try to survive like everybody else. So it's not, you know, like big mystery.
Yeah.
Yes, but you know this, you know, like now it's. Breaking point, I think breaking point is the metal because that is the breaking point, you know, like when I get, you know, the full freedom and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, before we are going to go away and all that stuff, so before we finish this up, let's pick one of your favorite Flame tunes. Can you pick a couple of favorite children from Flame discography?
Flame songs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe like 2 or 3 favorite ones which people probably should check out first. Yeah.
The song called Satan's Flame, it's actually explained a lot. And then it's Arts of the Black Wisdom from same album. And then comes the newest EP and all those songs. And then Gateway to the Birth of Lunacy from March into Firelands.
All right.
Yes.
Now, what happens to Flame in 2023, 2024? Let's play a little bit of a foreseen game.
Next year we're gonna do a new full length for sure.
Okay.
That's basically in my mind. It's like the goal of Flame, and we have some gigs maybe Turku Saatanalle or something like that going to happen. And I think that's enough to, because I want to keep the mystery going on.
So what is the biggest source for Flame news? Now, if people are going to check out what's going to happen in the Flame camp, where they should head to?
The next full length. It's going to be next year.
I mean, I'm the news source.
News source. Okay, the gigs for the... there's some gigs coming in the Lahti in I think next month, something like that. It's this is the big thing we did last night, but it's a local gig in Torvi. Welcome everyone there.
This is going to be too late for that anyway.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Okay, do you have any words of wisdom for the audience? What kind of advice you would give to the audience?
Do what the will shall be, the wall is the law.
And that's a good way for us to end this interview. So check out Flame both live and on albums. Good band, kicking ass and having that old school spirit. So check out your inner Flame. Pada-ching. And stay tuned for more interviews. This is Rauta. This is Steelchaos 2022. See you in hell. Alright, kiitoksia.
Kiitos.
Hei, nyt otetaan loppu vielä valokuvaa. Mä laitan tän pois.